Alright, Game Changers, welcome back to another video here today. I know a lot of people complain about players just being so good in Call of Duty, and in fact other games as well. It doesn't really apply just to Call of Duty, but a lot of games out there, players just have gotten so good nowadays. It's crazy. You would think that there's not a whole lot of the casual player base left, but I want to focus on Call of Duty and why Call of Duty specifically has a lot of good players. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for this, and some players who might not understand why this might be the case, let me just break it down for you guys. It has been around for a long time. The franchise itself has been around for a long time, so you would think that people who have been, pretty consistent in playing this franchise and playing this game, have learned a thing or two about the game itself, and they've mastered some of these things. But first off, let's talk about the evolution of Call of Duty and the player base more specifically. I mean, when the series first started, multiplayer gaming was relatively a niche thing. Only a fraction of players were really serious about really getting better at the game, because it wasn't something that people really took seriously. But over the years, especially when Call of Duty became one of the biggest franchises in the gaming scene, it attracted a much larger and more diverse audience than most other games out there. And this included a lot of players who had already sharpened their skills in other competitive games, and then they brought that new level of intensity to Call of Duty. Let's not forget also that gaming itself evolved. And back in the day, you might have played a couple of hours, after school. I mean, I did the exact same thing. But now, with the rise, especially with esports and streaming, a lot of players are really dedicated to mastering the game, and I mean fully. Look, I remember back in the day, if you wanted to get better at Call of Duty, you had to figure things out on your own. I mean, you could ask some of your friends who are better than you for tips, or maybe pick up a strategy guide or something from GameStop or something like that. But that was basically it. Or you could do your own experimentation with different guns, perks, all those things. But back then you were only limited to certain things. But now it's a whole different ball game, because the internet is literally at our fingertips, and we are flooded with content from top players, creators, streamers who break down the game in ways that anyone can understand it. You've got YouTube channels dedicated to teaching you how to improve aim, movement, game sense, spawns, etc. I mean, you got Twitch streams where you can watch pros in real time, even communities on Reddit, Discord, where strategies are discussed and dissected down to the T. In short, the knowledge gap that used to exist is almost non-existent now. Everyone has access to high-level strategies and can implement them with a bit of practice, and even the worst type of players can improve by a mile. And then of course there's the big one, everybody's favorite thing in the whole wide world, skill-based matchmaking, because it's been one of the most controversial topics in the Call of Duty community. But love it or hate it, there's no denying the fact that skill-based matchmaking has forced players, by choice or not, again, like I said before, to step up their game. Because in older Call of Duty titles, you can end up in a lobby with a wide range of skill levels. Sometimes you dominate, sometimes you get wrecked, but there was always a chance to play against someone far better or far worse than you. With skill-based matchmaking, the game is constantly trying to pair you with players of a similar skill level. This means that every match feels like $1 million tournament, and it's a complete sweat fest. We also can't ignore the impact of competitive and esports culture. Now, personally, I'm never into any esports for any game, but I know there are people who are into it and definitely do tune into that. But Call of Duty has always had, that competitive side. But with the rise of, the official leagues, the tournaments, the popularity of streamers, and just people in competition all of the time, it spread to the entire community in a way, whether we believe it or not. And watching, those pro players dominate on the big stage and on these streams, it inspires them to get better, and they want to emulate their play styles. And I understand that. Now, me personally, I don't watch pro players, or I don't watch streamers like that too often, to be completely honest. Maybe I see clips here and there on X, but other than that, I don't really care so much for that. But there are people who do, and there are people who want to hit those insane sniper shots that they see or clutch up in a 1v3 situation. So that's kind of created a culture where being just good at Call of Duty isn't just about having fun, it's about prestige, and they want to get to their level. And you know, the more that you see others performing at a high level, the more it motivates you to reach that level yourself. So I get it why people want to do that. Another thing is, and I think this has a lot to do more specifically with even the casual base that are not so casual anymore, it's the rise in skill level due to advancements in technology and hardware. Because back in the day, most people were playing on standard TVs with basic controllers, but now, man, now you've got players using high refresh rate monitors, myself included, custom controls with paddles, myself included, top tier headsets. I don't know if mine's top tier, but it is a good headset. Even specialized gaming chairs. I just have an office chair. I used to have a gaming chair, but now I just have an office chair. It feels the same to me. As long as it's comfortable, that's what I care about. But you got all of these tools that enhance the experience. It gives players kind of that edge over players who don't have it, right? When you got those higher frame rates, the lower latency means faster reactions. And sometimes it feels like you can get a shot off before your enemies, and it just feels spot on and crisp. You know, with the custom controllers, you have better control over your movements and the aim. Of course, with the headsets, making it easier to hear footsteps and gunshots, you can pinpoint where everybody is coming from and where those shots are coming from, and it makes you even better. All of these enhancements have made players become a lot better than your average player, especially back in the day. And on top of that, you got that grind mentality. I don't think a lot of people talk about that, but a lot of people do, especially with streaming. We just live in an era now where grinding out all of these ranks, the camos, and streaming for hours has become the norm. You know, especially when you don't have a job, or maybe you've dedicated streaming to becoming your job. That type of dedication improves or accelerates the rate to which players get even better at the game. And it makes sense, right? The more that you put time into a game, the better you get at it. I mean, that's the hope anyways, right? Because look at it, you got streamers who often play for 8, 10, or even 12 hours a day, which is absolutely insane to me, but they do. And if you follow those streamers, a lot of the people who watch, they learn those things in real time, and they see all the highlight reels, they see the tips and tricks that the streamers are not only, you know, educating their audience on, they're also able to visualize in real time all of those movements so they can pick up those tips and tricks as well. So why have people become so good at Call of Duty? Honestly, like I said before, it's a combination of all of these factors, you know, with the evolution of the player base just improving, you know, the wealth of the information that we have at our fingertips nowadays, the push from SBMM, competitive culture, technology advancements, and that grind mentality fueled by streaming. All of these things put together has created a culture where Call of Duty is not casual anymore. And this goes for just any game, not just Call of Duty. People have just gotten better in general. So whether or not you have skill-based matchmaking in the game or not, it's still gonna be competitive. Players just in general have gotten so much better with all of these improvements and advancements. But anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts on all of this. If there's something that I missed out, let me know all of that down in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell to be notified every single time I upload a video. Now with that being said, this is GCP signing off.